All right, let's get right into it. We're going to go deep inside Bharti Airtel's latest annual report to really unpack the story behind what was, honestly, an incredible year for them. This is about more than just numbers on a page. It's a story of smart strategy, powerful technology, and real-world impact. So how did one of the biggest telecom companies in the world have such a fantastic year? Let's find out.
The whole story really kicks off with this one number. Over 1 trillion rupees in revenue for the fiscal year. That is a staggering figure, and it's up nearly 16% from the year before. It just screams massive scale and some serious momentum. But a big number is just a number, right? It's the story behind it that's so fascinating.
And that really brings us to the core question we're trying to answer here. It's one thing to be a giant company. It's a whole other thing to keep growing at this kind of pace. This isn't just about adding a few more customers. Nope. This is about a super disciplined strategy that's just firing on all cylinders. And that's exactly what we're going to break down.
So to really get how they did it, we first have to look at what they did. We've got to go beyond that big headline revenue number and look at the other key metrics that really paint the full picture of the company's financial health.
Now, what's so interesting here is the balance. Yeah, we see that massive revenue we just talked about, but look at the profit after tax, over 235 billion rupees. This isn't just growth for the sake of getting bigger. This is seriously profitable growth. And you can see the market has definitely noticed, pushing their market cap past 10 trillion rupees. That's the trifecta of a really solid, financially strong company.
So how are they driving that kind of profitability? Well, a huge part of the answer comes down to this one little acronym, ARPU. It's an absolutely crucial metric in this industry. It's not just about how many customers you have, but how much value you're actually getting from each person. When your ARPU is rising, which Airtel's is, it means your customers are using more of your services and finding more value, and that directly pumps up the bottom line.
Okay, so where does all that revenue, all that value actually come from? Let's take a look under the hood at the core parts of the business that are acting like these powerful engines driving all those big numbers.
The business is impressively diverse. You've got your mobile services, which is really the bedrock of their consumer business in India. Then there's home services, bringing broadband and TV to millions of living rooms. Airtel Business is all about providing complex solutions to other companies. And then you have Airtel Africa, which is just this massive growth engine all on its own, operating all across the continent. Each one of these is a major business. And this just brilliantly shows you the sheer scale of those engines all working together. We're talking about a global network that serves over 590 million customers. To put that in perspective, that's more than the entire population of North America. This is not just a national company anymore. It's a global force in connectivity, period.
Okay, so we've seen the impressive results. Now we get to the heart of it, the real secret sauce. The answer to how they do it isn't just about being good at operations. It's a deep, strategic bet on technology, and specifically on artificial intelligence.
This quote, coming right from the top, it says it all. This isn't some side project or a little experiment happening in a lab somewhere. This is a foundational philosophy. It's being driven from the very highest levels of the company. They see AI as absolutely fundamental to their future, and they're basically rewiring the whole organization around it.
But what does a high-level strategy like embedding AI actually mean for you and me? On one hand, you have AI as this abstract concept, a chip on a circuit board. But on the other hand, it turns into a real benefit we can all relate to, getting fewer of those annoying spam calls. Airtel actually used AI to build India's first ever network-based spam detection system. They turned a super complex technology into a better daily experience for millions of people.
And the scale of that benefit is just mind-blowing. In only 6 months after they launched it, that AI-powered system flagged over 26 billion spam calls. It processes over 1 trillion records every single day to spot malicious activity. That is AI operating at a truly national scale.
And this isn't just a simple checklist. It's more like a powerful self-reinforcing loop, a flywheel. First, they build the digital platforms to manage the entire customer journey. Then, step 2, they inject AI into those platforms for deep analytics. This allows them to, third, proactively make the service better and stop customers from leaving. All of which, fourth, creates a launchpad for massive, scalable growth. You see, each step just powers the next one.
But, the story of a company like Airtel, especially when you read their own annual report, isn't just about the financials and the tech. It's also about their role in the wider world. It's about their impact beyond just the network itself.
And that's where this term ESG comes in. It stands for environmental, social, and governance. And it's basically a framework for measuring a company's commitment to being a responsible corporate citizen. It's about building a sustainable business in the truest sense of the word.
To make that social part of ESG feel real, just look at the story of Rajneesh Sharma. His journey started in a rural Satyabharti school, which is supported by the company's foundation. He did great, went on to get technical training, and today he works as a wireman at Airtel. This is the real human impact of their long-term commitment to education.
And Rajneesh's story, as amazing as it is just one of many. The Foundation's direct programs have impacted over 3.7 million students all across India. This is not some small-scale initiative. It's a massive effort to empower the next generation with a quality education.
Now, on the environmental front, here's a really simple but powerful example. Just look at this chart. By encouraging customers to switch over to e-bills, Airtel saved over 3,000 tons of paper in a single year. It's a super clear, tangible example of how small changes, when you apply them at a massive scale, can have a huge positive impact on the environment.
And these efforts aren't just them patting themselves on the back. They are being benchmarked against the highest global standards. They're signatories to the UN Global Compact, they've aligned their emission goals with the Science-Based Targets Initiative, and they've adopted the UN Energy Compact. This shows a serious, structured commitment to sustainability on the world stage.
So, after digging through this whole annual report, what's the big picture? As we look towards what's next for Airtel, a few key themes really stand out that define the story of this phenomenal year.
So when you boil it all down, the report really shows three core pillars. First, you've got this disciplined financial strength that just generates huge amounts of cash. Second, a forward-looking strategy that puts AI and digital platforms at the absolute center of their growth plan. And third, a clear and growing commitment to their social and environmental responsibilities. Those three things together really tell the story of a company that's being built for the future.
Which kind of leaves us with this final thought. Airtel's story shows a company that's not just connecting millions of us, but is also trying to figure out its broader responsibilities in a digital world. It makes you think about a bigger question, one for all of us to consider. As our lives get more and more tangled up with these networks, what is the true responsibility of the companies that connect us?